Welcome to today's episode. We are talking about if we lost it all today or had to start over in network marketing, what would we do? And this is Brandy Shaver, and my co-host here is Fran Lobsher, and we are co-founders of Beach Boss Influencers, and we're excited to be here today to share with you about some of these things. First off, Fran, if you had to start over in network marketing, knowing what you know now, what would you do first?
I think the first thing that I would do is I would be very selective and do more investigation into the company that I was joining and what I was doing. I mean, when I jumped into network marketing, it was with a friend, and it was like, oh, okay, I can do this thing. Like, no. I had no intention of doing all the things that she was doing. This was all building old school. I didn't investigate the company. I didn't investigate. I had no idea what the compensation plan looked like. I didn't know anything about anything. It was just like, oh, yes, I want to do this. Okay. So I think the first thing that you want to look at is the company.
Yeah, and I agree, Fran. It's this is a really good point because a lot of us we are born into network marketing or birthed into network marketing, and we didn't realize what network marketing was or how to do it, or what the benefits are. You're just birthed into it and somehow you hit the ground running, right? And you just go. So I'm the same. I would look into the company a lot more than, just picking whatever, for instance. So what are some top things that you would want to look into for company wise?
So, I mean, so there are so many new companies that start every single year, and often before the year is out, they have closed up again. So they've gone under. So number one, I would actually want to know has the company, is the company stable? Has it been around for at least 5 years? Um, and is it financially sound? Okay, so I would want to know more about the company, where it's at financially, if you can trust, if you can trust the data that you get. But as far as you know, and as far as you can understand from the data that you get, is it financially sound? Has it been around for at least 5 years, so that it's less likely to go under, because I can't remember what the percentages of companies that do not last 5 years, but it is very high. The companies, they go under before they hit 5 years. And so often it sounds very sexy to join a ground floor opportunity and get in at the beginning and get into the ground floor, but there's massive risk there, because you've no idea. You're going to put a lot of work in there, and you've no idea if that company is going to be around by the end of the year, let alone in 5, 10, and 15 years time.
Yeah, that's super important for sure, to make sure to, check into that company, get under the hood, right? And I know some people that are a little bit intimidated by doing that. Like, maybe you're just looking around for a company, and you call and find out if you can come in and check things out, meet the leadership team, the corporate side, and the field side. And that's exactly what I would be doing. If let's say I wanted to join XYZ company, I would literally call them up and I would ask for an appointment that I could come into the office, fly in or whatever, and I would want to, see all the things all under the hood. And I know when we first get started, a lot of us don't have that confidence. I know I wouldn't have at first to have done that, right? To just have the confidence to be like, look, I want to come into this company. I want to know what I'm coming into. I want to, I have X, Y, and Z goals kind of thing, and really digging under the hood. And I would take my time with that. I wouldn't do a jump, just jump in and go kind of thing. I've done that over and over and over a few times. And a lot of times it hasn't ended, real well. So you've got to figure out on the field side, right? What's the leadership that you're joining? What kind of systems and processes and support are you going to be having, above you, kind of thing? Because you can pick your upline. Did you guys know that? I didn't know that until I got further into this world of network marketing. But if you're looking for a company like that, you can go in and choose where you want to be. And it's doing the research. And this is the part that a lot of us hate doing, right? We hate doing the research. We don't want to ask the hard questions. We don't want to talk to the people. We just want to get in and build. So it's so important to understand those pieces.
And you don't often don't want to upset the person who, and it may be a friend of yours who's trying to recruit you. It was for me, it may be so you obviously often don't want to upset them, but this is going to be your route to, financial freedom, to time freedom, your
Yeah, it's
route
your
to.
livelihood, right? Like, kind of think of it this way. Like, let's say Fran and I, we're friends and we work in the same corporate company. And maybe Fran's my boss, right? Maybe that's the case. Fran's my boss. And there is an opportunity that comes along that I double my money in the corporate world, doing the same exact job for the same exact hours. I don't have to move. I don't have to do anything, blah, 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 right? I just have to literally change corporate jobs, change the companies. And Fran and I are really great friends, right? Here's the thing. None of you, including myself and Fran right now, would even bat an eye at that, right? Like Fran, in fact, if Fran and I were friends in this other corporate
I
place,
would tell you to go.
she would tell me to go. In fact,
I
she would
would
be
say
like,
go.
listen, do they
Yeah,
have an opening for me? Right? Like
yeah,
everybody
exactly.
would want to be making, more money. But some reason when it comes to network marketing, there's this weird, I don't know what to even call it, Fran, but it's this weird thing that we're so loyal and we're like, oh, well, Susie Q brought me in and I don't want to hurt her feelings. And, dude, this is your life, your livelihood, your income, your financial freedom. You've got to take the reins on this deal, right? It's so crazy to me that people get so wrapped up in this stuff. Like it literally is a business decision, right? Doesn't matter if Fran and I are best friends. She'd be like, go to the other place. You're stupid if you don't, right? Like that's what she'd be telling.
And there used to be, I mean, when we were building, there were people coming from the same company that we were in all the time, wanting to come and join our team because we had systems and processes in place, because we had a duplicatable system, because of the way that we were building on social media using influence marketing as opposed to spamming all your friends and family and being a salesy weirdo. And we, they had come in somewhere else and we couldn't enroll them. And we would send them back and say, look, and this is why it's important that you go and do your homework and figure out where you want to join, because your best friend may not be the best solution for your financial freedom, may not be the best solution for you to achieve your goals. As much as you love them, okay, this is as Brandy was saying, this is your life, these are your goals, this is your livelihood that you're talking about. So do your homework. And if you see somebody else in the company and you're thinking they've got it all figured out, they've got systems and processes in place, they've got everything, this is how I want to build. I never want to do a home party. I never want to go and bug my friends and family. I don't want to be driving all over the country. Then that's where you belong. And have the balls and the courage, okay, to say to your friend, look, I love you, but this is where I need to be. And thank you. And thank you for introducing me.
Yeah. The other piece of this that's so important that we here at Beach Boss Influencers see every day, every freaking day, and it actually irritates the crap out of me that these companies say what you can and can't do based on like online, right? For instance, I'll give you an example. I had an upline in one of my companies that she came from another company and she brought a huge team, right? She's the toppity top of the entire organization. That's what she did, right? She built it old school, had spent years and years in the network marketing audience, building her network marketing audience, and she never did anything online, right? So she comes in to she writes a book after she's at the toppity top of the company, right? And the company promotes her book. Okay, so the company, she was allowed to promote her book to the entire company because of her position and her track record in the company. She's obviously not going anywhere, right? She's solid in that place. Then like compare this, right? And this is how companies are. It kind of depends on who you are and what you've done for them, right? But so now here's the other thing, right? So then a girl comes into this company brand new. She's a lot younger. She's done everything she knows on social media, everything, built her entire team. She's also a piece atop of the company now, right? But she came in later from the first gal. And what ended up happening is that when she would do things online, which she'd been doing the whole entire time, when she had a contract with the company and all the things, she's been doing things online, and they all of a sudden decided that they didn't like her doing some of those things online, right? Because she had branded herself, all the things we teach here at Beach Boss Influencers, which we're going to get into, branded herself, had systems and duplication. Her team was all over the world because she built from home on her computer, using Zooms, webinars, all those things, building that know, like, and trust, exactly what we teach here. Well, guess what? The company didn't like that. So she had to either fit into their box that they want to put her in, right? Or go somewhere else that's going to let her build the way she wants to build. And I'm telling you right now, there are companies out there that will take your check away for building online. They just don't tolerate it at all. And even though you're just building, your own brand and all the things, you're not talking about that specific XYZ company. They, for some reason, think that they have control over some of those things. And you're seeing a lot of this friction in the network marketing industry right now. Companies are starting to come on board, but they're so far behind on the social media game, right, that it's hard for them to kind of do. So you've got to know what's allowed, because if I was to join a company today, let's say I'm like, all right, I'm gonna switch companies and start all over from the beginning. I would want to know that my brand, my multi-million dollar brand that we've built online is safe, right? Like, it's safe. It doesn't, the company's not going to come in and say, oh, now that you've built to, the top position of the company, you can't do X, Y, and Z anymore, right? Like, that's just it wouldn't fly with me. In fact, I would be like, you know what? Peace out, right? Like, see you later kind of thing. And again, it comes back to the confidence that we have when asking the questions before we start building. And none of us, in fact, Fran and I are in the same boat. We didn't have the confidence to do this from the beginning, right? We do now because we've been in the industry long enough. We've built our brands and built our confidence and all those things. And we know what we bring to the table, right? We know in here what we bring to the table. So, it's just so important for you to really know what's going on. Okay. So then, Fran, what else on company side would you?
Company side is products as well. You want to look at the products, and is it something that, number one, you can actually get behind? Is it something that you would be passionate about? Is it something? There was a company a few years ago that did magnetic eyelashes. It always comes to mind, that did magnetic eyelashes. And I kept thinking, is this going to be around forever? And I don't think it's around anymore.
Yeah, I don't know, but I had that same thought. They were beautiful, and they were
stunning. They were stunning, but is it going to be a product that's going to stand the test of time? Mm-hmm. Is it something that is unique, that people cannot get anywhere else? Because the answer you're always going to get is, oh well, I can get this from, if you're in health and wellness, for example, because we were always in health and wellness, oh well, I can just go and get it from my local supermarket or my local pharmacy or my local wherever. So is it something that actually is unique, that people cannot get anywhere else? And it's something that you would feel passionate about, because, if you live your life drinking wine, eating pizza, and, watching Netflix all day, and you're going to start promoting a company that's all about health and fitness, there's kind of a disconnect there. Okay.
Yeah, not really going to go together too well.
No. So look at the products as well. And is it something that you can actually get behind, that you would feel passionate about? That they've been around for a while, that people are getting results with, that people are getting results fast with, because it's much easier to promote a product if people are actually getting results pretty fast.
They feel a difference, right? Is what you mean. They feel
it,
or they see it, or something that keeps them bought in.
Yeah.
I think the other key to that piece, just to put this in here, because it's super, super important, is, if there's a recession that happens, what's the first thing people do with their expenses, right? They're going to drop the extras. Okay. So it really makes sense if your livelihood is attached to your network marketing company, and your network marketing company is attached to a product, is that product something that they have to have? Or is it, if there's a recession, are they all going to be dropping, that subscription order because they can't afford it? Obviously, they'd rather buy $9 eggs than, whatever, right? If they don't have the money, if they have to choose, they're going to choose to eat versus, a product that they actually don't really need. So
But if it's a product that has such a dramatic effect on their life, then
they won't ever stop using
they
it.
will never stop buying it.
Yeah, good point.
And there are lots of fads out there. There are lots of things. It's just like, uh, anyway.
Yeah.
So you
Now,
get
the
the
next
idea.
piece that we want to talk about on the company side is, do they have a duplicable system for your team and for you, right? Like, is it done and ready for you? There are teams that, have built extra stuff. For instance, when Fran and I and, some of the beaches were building hardcore in network marketing, nobody that we knew was doing what we wanted to do. So we went in and built all those systems, right? And processes and all those things for our team. And our team completely exploded. As Fran said, we had people outside of our team that wanted into our training, which is another story for another day. It's a lot of the reason Beach Boss Influencers actually got created. But the problem with that is if, like, you're looking at a company and all the check marks we've talked about check, right? Like all the other things check, and you don't have systems and processes in play, you're going to have to build them. That's what's going to have to happen, right? And if you don't know how, obviously you can get mentorship from Beach Boss Influencers and put all of those things in place, but it would be a heck of a lot easier to join a team that's already doing it and has things in play that you don't have to go build. Now, would Fran and I take back that experience of building all of that? Heck no. We love that we own those skill sets. We've built those things. We know what works and what doesn't work because we've been through the trenches, right? Fran, do you remember? We would like changing our system every freaking 5 minutes because people would get stuck. And we tested it for so long that it's so black and white now. Like, we know exactly what works and what doesn't, right? But there is a lot of time, effort, and patience and energy and money that goes into testing all of that stuff. So if you can find a company that checks all those boxes and an upline that has those systems and processes, you've won the freaking lottery, right? That's ultimately what we're all looking for. But if you found a company that you're like, it is solid, it is been around, it's not going anywhere, excuse me, it checks all the boxes, but it doesn't have systems and processes, that's, a choice you have to make if you're going to build it or not. Like, at this point, I would go build my own systems and processes if I'd found that unicorn company that had all of those check boxes for me. So that's do you have anything else you want to add there, Fran?
No, you've kind of summed it up.
All right. And then the next piece for that would be
The
compensation.
compensation plan.
Yeah.
And that's something that you really need to look at, because I know a lot of people will join a company first because they like the products, and then they're going to join, or they like the products, but they join because they just want the discount.
Mm-hmm.
Or like when I first started, I joined a company. I had no idea what the compensation plan was. And to be honest, I never actually understood it. I never understood it. Okay. But you've got to understand, like, what, how easy is it for me to rank advance and for me to make money? And for me to get to the next rank, how many hoops am I going to have to jump through? Because a lot of compensation plans will put so many hoops in place that you've got to jump through all these hoops in order to get to the next rank, in order to get, in order to make more money and get to the next rank, that often it's flipping impossible to actually get there, to get all your ducks lined up in a row, and, 3 people under here, um, at this rank, and then you've got to have all them active, and these people all need to be active, and they all need to be at this rank. And if you get all those people and you work with all those people to get them to where they want to be, then you will get to where you want to be. But often there are so many hoops that they put in place to actually get there that it becomes impossible. So you want to have a jolly good look at the compensation plan. And if you can find somebody who understands compensation plans, because I know when I was first starting, I did not understand compensation plans at all. I was looking at it and it's just like my eyes went cross-eyed and was just like, I don't understand this. Probably just because it was like a bunch of numbers and,
well, it does seem complicated until you've seen, a lot of comp plans. If you've studied comp plans and you start to understand them, they kind of, make more sense. But when you're brand new, or you're not a numbers person, which I wasn't. I had to become that person, right? But it's hard because there are a lot of hoops to jump through with the have 3 at blue and 2 at gold and whatever, right? So you can also, for comp plans, call the company, right, and have somebody explain it to you and ask for examples of how it works, kind of thing. And you know what, I've seen comp plans that are binary. I've seen comp plans that are unilevel. I've seen all kinds of crazy comp. I've seen like a hybrid is what they call them, right? There's all kinds of comp plans.
Yeah.
And it really just depends on how it's put together. The one thing that you want to look at on comp plans is you want to make sure to think long term. Okay, so you want that upfront money, right? That's how we build. We want our upfront bonuses, our sales bonuses, all those things. We want those because we need those incomes to keep building our businesses. But you want to think long term. If you build in this company, for 10 years and you hit the top rank at X, Y, and Z, and you're doing this amount of volume, and you've got all these team members jumping through all the hoops doing this, right? What does that look like for you? And is that where you want to be? Okay, because that was one of the things for me, is like they sat down and showed me the comp plan, and I was like, so when you hit the very top rank of the company and you've got all the bonuses and you're in the share pool and all the things, what is, if I'm doing X, Y, and Z volume, right? What is the check? And, they calculated it. Obviously it was based on, just an example, but I was like, that's it for all that work, all that stuff that we gotta be doing. Like, does that make sense for you? And if it does, then great. If it doesn't, right, then you may need to look longer for where you want to be, right?
Yeah.
That's just,
Yeah.
it's just part of it. Because you can get a company that checks all the boxes and then they have a really crappy comp plan, right? Like, and it would be the same scenario of Fran and I working in this corporate world. And then we find a company over here that's going to pay us double for the same amount of work. Hello, it doesn't make sense to go over here and work for pennies when you can make double over here, right? So
Yeah.
these are some of the things that you want to know. And then the last thing on the company side is the
Timing.
shiny object syndrome. Okay.
But
Go ahead,
I
Fran.
want to say a little bit about timing as well.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's talk about
Timing.
shiny object just because we're
Okay.
talking about companies, and then let's
Yeah.
go into timing. So
Okay.
shiny object is what we mean in this context, that you don't want to jump from company to company to company, right? Like in a short amount of time. And 7 times is the average for most network marketers in their lifetime, is to change companies 7 times, right? That doesn't mean that you're not going to find the first company and stay and stick forever, right? That does not what that means. It means the average of all the people trying network marketing, which means the tire kickers, the shiny object chasers, right? All those people are included in that place. So 7 times in your lifetime of a network marketer, you'll probably change companies as the average. We don't want that to happen in like a matter of 5 years, right? There's no way for you to build anything sustainable in network marketing like that, right? Don't be jumping from company to company to company. And then the other thing, just to add on this, is that don't try to build 2 or more companies at the same time. It confuses people. It's not going to work very well, right? And you're kind of like splitting your focus. Think about, like, if you focus on one thing and then jump over here, something else has to kind of go away, right? And so just focus, figure out where your home is, and then focus and build it, right? And once that's built, and maybe you've, retired out, or you want to sell your position, or whatever you want to do, and you want to go build another new team, that's great, right? That's great. But don't try. It's like chasing 2 birds at the same time. You're never going to catch one.
And the other thing is, you want to think about the people who are joining you. And if you want to be attracting leaders to you, they're not going to be joining you if they know that half your focus is going to be building another company.
True.
They want to know that you are solely focused on supporting them, on building their team, on building, on supporting the team that they put their faith and trust in you, and they want to know that you are solely focused on building that team and that company.
Absolutely.
So timing is a huge thing, because, and we spoke a little bit about this in the beginning, because I think the stats are like 5% of companies actually last longer than 5 years, which is crazy.
That is crazy.
It's crazy. So ground floor opportunity, it's all sounds very sexy. Please stay away from it. Okay. Stay away from it. And you also want to make sure that you're joining a company when it's been around for a bit, but it's still in momentum. Because there's some companies that have been around, the companies that have been around for 50 years longer. Okay. But everybody knows that company, and they all probably know somebody who is in that company that if they want to buy the products, they're going to go and buy from them. So you want to join while it's still in momentum, as opposed to, hit momentum and, been around forever. They also are always going to have to, in order to keep relevant, the companies that have been around forever, in order to keep relevant, in order to create excitement, they often bringing out new products, new things, but are they all really that exciting? Is they're trying to create that excitement. Whereas if you've got a company with a unique product, okay, that is hitting momentum, that's and you got all the other things that line up, all the other things that we've discussed. There's your unicorn.
Mhm.
Find the team with a duplicatable system, find the team, the people that you want to join, the leaders that you want to join, the products, the company, the timing, the compensation plan. If it all lines up, there's your perfect
That's
company.
awesome. And then the last thing that we wanted to talk about, if we had to start over, rebuild from the ground up in network marketing, is I would brand myself online. I wouldn't even waste my time with the person to person, just because of where we are in our world. Most people, the average stat is that they will stare at their phone or be on some sort of screen. The average literally is like 6 to 8 hours a day. And that's not someone working, at a computer, right? That is on social media, on screens, inside somewhere of this device, right? That we all have and carry in our pockets. So if that's the case and you know that going in, does it make sense to give an elevator pitch to a stranger in an elevator, right? It doesn't, because they are not going to connect with you. They're not going to want to talk. They're going to think you're weird, first of all, because do you even talk to people in elevators anymore? Not very often. Like, if you do, people look at you like you're freaking crazy. So, they're like, oh, wait, there's another human in here, but we're not supposed to talk to each other. It's gotten really strange, if you want my honest opinion, in reality versus, the screens that we're all staring at. But if you know that going in, how do you get in front of the masses? Well, you got to get inside of this little puppy, right? Your screen that you all have in your pocket. So how do you do that? You have to build a brand online. You have to start building an audience. And this is where, I'm not even joking you, 98% of network marketers fail. They need a new warm audience and they don't build one. And so then they struggle their entire network marketing career because they don't understand. Most companies teach, most uplines teach to go promote, 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 go plaster it all over everywhere, right? And drive your friends and family crazy that are probably your friends on social media. Because if you haven't been intentionally building on social media, you didn't know you were supposed to grow a following of people that are not your friends and family, right? Like, nobody told you that. So if that's where you're at, you can go ahead and grab the link that's going to be in this description, and it's going to help you get started building online. And then if you're in the process of building online and you're like, what I'm doing is just not working, that link's also for you. So grab that. But Fran, what else? Because we know we have to build a new audience online. So then what else would you suggest that we do if we want to build completely on social media?
You start building the new audience and build genuine relationships. If I'm perfectly honest with you, if I'm perfectly honest, I would actually start setting up automation too. Um,
Absolutely.
I would start setting up automation so that instead of speaking one to one on social media, that I'm speaking to one to many. That I'm actually putting my message out, and I'm letting social media go find the right people for me, and then they're coming to me. And for me, that would be the number one prize. If I started off doing that, I would honestly, I don't know where I would be now if I'd started off doing that when I first started back in, goodness, when was it? 2015.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
but important, wherever you're building, is be a normal human being.
Mhm.
build genuine relationships with whatever you're doing, whether you're building a, whether you are using automation, whether you're setting up, funnels, and you building a lead machine and got people coming to you. Still let them get to know you. Be a normal human being, build genuine relationships. If you're building genuine relationships one to many, using email, using live video, get doing live video. Make sure that they're getting to know you, whether, and this, even if you're building, organically using your personal profile, live video, let people get to know you and see you and hear you. Okay, stop hiding behind the screen in building fancy graphics and things, and just be you.
Yeah, I think
Because
that's really what's missing in
it's a
today's
people's
world.
business.
Yeah, we all love social media and being so connected, right? Like I was following, some of the things on on social media yesterday, and I was like invested in it, right? I was like it was like a news story. I was kind of like following it around. But what you want to remember on social media is that you want to be authentic. That's the key that's missing, right? So we're all connected, but it feels like everything's fake. I'm kind of like feeling like that every time I get on social media. I'm like, ooh, like that's a pretty wedding, because right now I'm in the middle of wedding planning, and all of those things are like the aesthetics are so beautiful, and people are using AI and all the things. Some of it's not real, right? So human beings now, we're more connected than we've ever been, ever, as human beings, but real human beings that are in this process feel less connected to other human beings. It's like they're so lonely living on an island, but this is how they connect, right? So be authentic, I think, is the word, because a lot of our students, when they come in, they've got, when we're coaching them how to do some of these things, which, building a brand online, using automations, putting in funnels and lead machines, and automatic audience automation stuff that we teach, they kind of take a step back and they have this little bit of an imposter syndrome, and they're like, well, wait a minute, I'm brand new, who am I to be doing these things online, kind of thing. And I remember feeling that way. Fran, do you remember feeling that way when we first came online? Right, but the more and more that I just got into what the people I wanted to serve need, and forgot about myself, and I was just authentic with where I was and honest about, things that I was doing and learning and growing. And I even talked about my failures and like all the things, that we did wrong and all the things. The authenticity is what comes through, and that's what will build that massive audience for you to pull from, right? It's the authenticity. So we're not saying go out and rent a Lamborghini and start doing a live video, in front of this Lamborghini, or go rent a mansion and pretend you're someone else. That's all bull crap. Don't do that anymore. That's like totally dumb. Nobody loves that. Nobody wants to connect with that. In fact, they can feel that that's fake. They might not be able to feel like what it is exactly, but they know something's off. They can they can feel that intention, right? They can feel that even through the skin, even through the screen. So be authentic, like be you. And listen, when I first did live video, I sucked. I sucked. Everything I did, I sucked online. But one of the main things that came across to, everyone that started to join us in our company, all the things when we started to get success, their main thing that they told us was, you know what, you guys just feel so real, because we are. We never wanted to be those people that like made up this huge story about how we had, we were the top of every company in the world. Like, it's just not us, right? We're not those kind of people. Like, we want to real authentic relationships with people. And I think that's the key on social media. So,
And when the person joins you, I mean, they join you, and the person that they meet is, oh, this is the same person. Like this is them. Okay,
yeah.
because so when you talk about authenticity, um, your energy is either going to attract or repel people. Okay, and if you are, angry, those negative energies form right at the bottom of the scale. Love is really high, but authenticity is even higher than
Higher.
love.
Mhm.
Authenticity is the highest energy that is going to attract people. So if you are in that energy, and that is what you're putting out there, you're just being you and being authentic and being truthful and true to you, then it is highly, highly, highly attractive to everybody out there,
Mm.
even if it is highly attractive. So I cannot encourage you more to be you. You do not need to have your hair perfect, your makeup. Just show up as you. I have done videos like sweaty from the gym, no makeup on. Those have done better than like some of the makeup videos where like, okay, let me do my face, let me do my
Mhm.
hair, let me get all ready. No, be you and just show up for your people. Understand who that perfect prospect is, the person that you want to work with. I used to put a picture of them. I used to have a picture of them, so I just used to speak to that picture because I
Mhm.
used to like talk to that person, the one person that I know I can help. You talk to that one person, you speak to millions. But yeah, I've gone off on a bit of a tangent. But
No,
anyway,
it's awesome. It's awesome. Yeah, and you know what? If you need help with your social media, if you need help with learning how to build online, if you want to put in automatic audience automations and lead machines and all of those incredible things that'll, a lot of, in fact, I would say probably what, friend, 85% of the top earners in the world in network marketing are probably using some sort of funnel automation, audience automation machine, lead machine, right? All those things. But they're not teaching it to their teams because it's not something that everyone can or wants to do. It's not duplicatable by, all the masses. But if you're ready to like smash it and totally like build a massive $1 million network marketing team, then grab the link and let us help you because that's what we do and we love it. So, anyway, have a great rest of your day and we'll see you on the next episode. Bye bye.